I keep saying I'm really humbled by all this. And, one of the things that it really does come down to is, as I was said, and probably hearing this again, but we didn't know what was happening. We were making Voltron. We knew we wanted to distinguish it. We knew we wanted to do some things differently, and we had set up for a bar for ourselves to, just try to do these things. So to actually be among people in this community, which, way back when we didn't know how this was going to affect anybody, if anybody cared, we were going to die in the ratings. It's really humbling, and it's also inspiring. And just earlier, see what Bob was doing here and sort of informing everybody about what's about to happen with Voltron. And I did speak up at the end because I think a lot of us, once we saw what happened with Voltron, and once you all sort of experienced it, I have always felt that Voltron never got its rightful place in the annals of all legendary superheroes, and certainly the Transformer version. So this now is like, okay, this is that time. He's really got a big deal. He's got the right director and stuff. And for those of us who thought for decades, how come Voltron never got its shot at a big studio level for a film? It just goes to show you the entertainment business. You just never know. I mean, we hear all these stories of overnight success that took 7 years. Nobody knew about the first 7 years. So I think the time is right. And I just think it's so cool that all of you that were touched by Voltron or affected by it and really brought into it. I was saying earlier, I feel like I'm inside this community now of people, and I think that it'll really get going. You guys are keeping it going, but I think there's a lot more to come, so it's very cool. I have nothing to offer about these episodes. I assume you all know them. You know the story. So the only thing I'll say, which I sort of mentioned earlier, is what, and I was sort of saying also earlier, that I fear sometimes if people knew exactly what it took to make TV episodes, you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much, because it really is quite a process, not for the faint-hearted, especially with this one in its early days. But what I will say, because it is sort of interesting, when you do watch it, and you do think in terms of, first off, we had to acquire this stuff from Toei Animation. We had to sort of take what they did and start to do something different with it, but then it was scripting, and then it was recording the voices and getting those characters all set, and the tone and how we were going to do it, and then the music, and then the sound effects, and then really put all that back together. So this is the time where I can say, well, when you watch this, just tune into that a little bit. Don't get distracted by it, but it's sort of interesting to start to say, wow, this is how all this came together. And in the end of the day, all we're all looking for is to convey a feeling to somebody. How does this character connect with anybody? Do they connect with anybody? So what I say is very humbling, is to be in one group. Because remember, I never got to watch Voltron with the audience. I only got to see the ratings and are we winning or losing, and how's it going, and things we talked about. So, when we did an episode or a week of episodes, what did we learn from that week that we would do differently? And then there's some stuff you really can't change. But so to be with a group of people now where I can really sort of immerse myself in this is what came of it. It's very exciting, very humbling. But anyway, so you watch these episodes. It's interesting for a little bit to wonder about all those little parts when you look through it. Don't dwell on them, just enjoy it for what it is, though. But thank you all very much. Yeah, thanks. And I also want to say special thanks to A.V. Lyle here for just letting us all see and hear everything. These are the guys that never get enough appreciation from us, and I thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.